Hello, mischief makers and mask salesmen. My name is Tibiskine, and welcome to The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is probably my favorite Zelda game of all time, even more than Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time, which is not such a controversial opinion these days. It's a game that often finds itself on the top of the list of greatest Zelda games of all time, but at least when I was a kid, and I had an N64 on my floor, and God knows how many hours sunk into Ocarina of Time. And this game came out. It was a bit of a disappointment, both for me and for fellow Zelda fans who I talked to, because it wasn't Ocarina of Time 2. It wasn't really a follow-up to that game and to the feelings and ideas that that game was working off of. It was something different entirely. And you know, at the time, I didn't have the vocabulary to really put word to the feelings that I felt about the game, or why it felt strange or different or even wrong sometimes to me. But with the benefit of hindsight and just, my evolution as a person, I think I've become more able to put words to it these days than I was back in the day. And this game has grown in my estimation over the years because it is a very different thing. For all that this is my favorite game, by the way, it's not really a game I replay very often. It's not a game I come back to a lot, because, like I said, it's a game that has a very different feeling than Ocarina of Time. And that feeling isn't always nice. It's a game with a very different vibe. It's a game that has other emotions on its mind, where Ocarina of Time is all triumphal and, the classic hero's journey overcoming all disasters. Majora's Mask is about something else. And that's what we're going to be talking about over the course of this particular playthrough. So, business first. This is the Majora's Mask 3DS remake, which I've chosen to play both because, well, it's got better graphics, it looks nicer, and also because it has a number of quality of life changes that I quite enjoy. We'll just delete that file. We won't need that for anything. It's got a number of quality of life changes that I really like, which will make this playthrough a lot easier. I could emulate the original, but I've honestly come to prefer the Majora's Mask 3DS remake because the quality of life changes that it introduces, while they do mess a little bit with some of the ideas that the game is trying to work with, and we'll get into that, it's just, for the purposes of recording the stuff for YouTube and playing it, it's a lot more nice and convenient. But because I'm playing it on an emulator, I do own the game. I've got my 3DS right over here with the game on it, but I don't have a capture card that can capture footage from a 3DS. Because we're emulating it, there's going to be audio glitches every once in a while. There's going to be slowdowns and stuttering and little stuff like that. So I hope you'll bear with me through it. Any other business that we need to take care of before we actually get into the game? No, I don't think so. Let's just head to Termina and see what we may find there. In the land of Hyrule there echoes a legend held dearly by the royal family. It tells of a boy who after battling evil and saving Hyrule crept away from the land that had made him a legend. Done with the battles he once waged across time, he embarked on a journey, a secret and personal journey, a journey in search of a beloved and invaluable friend. A friend with whom he parted ways when he finally fulfilled his heroic destiny and took his place among legends. And here I come again. So, a voice for Skull Kid, then. I think we'll do simple with it.
You two fairies did great. I wonder if he has anything good on him. Huh? This guy? Well, that shouldn't be a problem. What a pretty ocarina. Hey, Skull Kid, let me touch it. I want to see.
You can't, Tail. What would we do if you dropped and broke it? No way, you can't touch it.
But sis, why can't I try it out too?
So notice that when Skull Kid shows up for the first time, the mask appears first. And then the kid follows. Almost as though... Well, almost as though that's the thing that's... Like, almost as though that's the primary part of him. So in terms of visual story, like if you know the story of Majora's Mask, that'll not be a surprise to you. But it's like visual storytelling doing the job of telling you exactly what's going on immediately. Anyway, let's follow them. Oh, I should note one thing, by the way. I have the second screen here as a transparent little extra window that I can bring up whenever I need to show you something on it. And I don't know how much I'm gonna have it up. I'm gonna rely on you guys to let me know in the comments, like whether you'd like to be able to see the second screen, like with the gear and the map and the stuff on it in the upper right, or whether you're fine without it. Like, I'll leave that one up to you. Anyway, let's go to Termina.
What's with that stupid horse of yours? It doesn't listen to a word that's said to it. There's no point riding a thing like that, so I did you a favor and got rid of it.
Oh, boo-hoo. Why the sad face? I just thought I'd have a little fun with you.
Oh, come now. Do you really think you could beat me as I am now? Fool!
Here comes a part that gave me nightmares as a kid. Like, I had the exact dream that you're about to see multiple times.
Now that's a good look for you. You'll stay here looking that way forever.
See us!
Well, Skull Kid, wait for me! I'm still here! Tail, you can't leave without me! You! If I wasn't dealing with you, I wouldn't have gotten separated from my brother! Well, don't just sit there, Deku boy! Do something! Why are you looking at me like that? What, is there something stuck on my face? Will you stop staring and just open that door for me? Please! Come on! A little helpless girl is asking you! So hurry up! Oh, Tail. I wonder if that child will be alright on his own.
So yeah, that whole sequence gave me nightmares as a kid. Like, just, oh boy, that was not a favorite thing. And that's... And I'm gathering money here right away because that's convenient. And that's part of what makes Majora's Mask such a different game. Is that in the original Ocarina of Time, you start as, hey, Link, he is having a little bit of a nightmare, then he wakes up, he's in a nice, safe place with all of his friends in Kokiri Forest, having kiddie adventures, basically. He's having a fairly childish little adventure, like gathering the sword, and finding the shield, and going into the Deku Tree, and then eventually beating the big spider, and yay, heroic. Like, the first things that happen in that game is a young hero sets out on his quest and experiences his first victory, you know. Majora's Mask opens in a very, very different way, with not only a complete defeat, but also a complete disempowerment. Like, you are turned into this thing, bereft of a lot of your abilities, like your sword, your shield, those heroic implements.
Hey, wait for me! Don't leave me behind! So, that stuff back there, I apologize, so take me with you! You want to know about the Skull Kid who just ran off, right? Well, I just so happen to have an idea of where he might be going. Take me with you and I'll help you out. Deal? Please? Good, so then it's settled. Now then, I'll be your partner, or at least until we catch that Skull Kid. My name is Tattle, so it's nice to meet you or whatever. Now that we got that all straightened out, can we stop messing around and get moving?
And then tutorial. And then Link looks directly at the camera and is like, okay. See, I think yes. More money! But, like, the feeling that you begin this game with is so completely opposite to the feeling with which you begin Ocarina of Time. And the feeling with which you normally would begin, like, a hero story. Of like, a young hero traveling across the land to right the wrongs and save the princess and, you know, beat the bad guy and stuff. This is not that, and the game tells you that from the moment go. And that's part of why it wasn't what I was looking for as a child. Like, when it came out and I was playing it, I was like, this isn't right. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember a feeling of, like, that, like, a feeling of wrongness. That something about this game was wrong. Like, it wasn't like it was supposed to be in my head. And I was right about that. It really wasn't. It's a very, very different beast. Which is what has made it, Yeah, I know how to use items, thank you very much. Which has made it, like, such a... like, a classic that shows up on so many best ever lists, but... I remember at the time, I mean, my exposure to the internet at that age was limited, but I remember, like, gaming opinions and stuff, such as I read, generally held that this was an inferior game, like... that it had a lot of busy work and a lot of backtracking, and it wasn't as cohesive and it wasn't as good as Majora's Mask. Or as Ocarina of Time. And that's something that's only changed over time, I think. Anyway, speaking of different moods as you enter the world. So this tree here is a specific character who we will learn about later in the game. It's the child of someone who we'll meet. But what we see here is more nightmare. Because that tree looks an awful lot like us, doesn't it? Almost like it's a warning. A scarecrow or a tombstone telling us what our fates might be.
It's strange, but the way you look right now sort of reminds me of this tree. It looks all dark and gloomy. Almost like it could start crying any second now. How sad. And
just to drive the point home, thank you very much, Tattle. Tattle and Tail, by the way. It took me ages to figure out that, oh, it's Tattletale, because she tattles on, like, she says stuff and information, and so does Tail. He tells us something critical a little bit later on. Oh, right, it's a pun. It took me a long time to figure that out as a kid. Also, take note of the landscape in here. This area that we're in. Like, having played Dark Souls, what it most reminds me of is a place like Ash Lake, almost. Like, with these trees that pop up out of the ground and go either nowhere into these pointed spikes, or just disappear out of sight into nothingness. And so, like, the opening area here is also, I mean, driving the point home, especially when we run through this winding tunnel, that we're passing through some kind of uncanny something into a very different world. And depending on the theories that you subscribe to, the fan theories, perhaps an underworld or a purgatory of some kind, which is a fan theory I think that has a lot of merit and weight, but not necessarily one that I subscribe to myself. By the way, one thing to talk about, which is going to be a little bit less clear with the remake here, because of course that ups the polygon count, makes the characters much more detailed, but take note of the way that Deku Link is designed as a character. His character design is very much influenced by the technical limitations of the N64 at the time. Like Mario 64, Ocarina of Time was also like one of the first major 3D games to like really try and explore what you can do with that visual technology, and Majora's Mask is largely based on the advances that were made in Ocarina of Time, even recycling a lot of the assets. So take note of how Deku Link is constructed. He's got this little bean body, these tiny little spindly arms and legs, and then these big hands and big feet. And you can see why when we do his spin animation, because take a look at how his animation reads. You see the big foot that he's standing on, like the big lumpy foot there, gives us a very clear point of, like, oh, he's spinning around on that foot and gliding over. And then the other big foot that's spinning around, like, gives us that rotational motion along with the hands. And on a very low poly system, a system that can't handle that many polygons like the N64, a lot of character design, both like in Mario 64 and like pretty much all of the games, is influenced by those technical limitations where artists and animators find ways to go, okay, if we just like make the hands and limbs like really big, comparatively, if we distort proportions of these characters a little bit to make them, like in this case, adhere to a chibi aesthetic, it becomes much easier to have their animations read properly when they're in motion. And that's something that to me is just as kind of fascinating to think about, especially when looking back on games like Mario 64 and stuff like that. Like, you can kind of see artists and animators at the time figuring out how to even do most of this stuff. Like, how to even figure out how to make a character work. Anyway, here's one of my favorite characters in this game.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? I own the Happy Mask Shop. I travel far and wide in search of masks. During my travels, a very important mask was stolen from me by an imp in the woods. So, here I am at a loss, and now I found you. Now, don't think me rude, but I have been following you. For I know a way to return you to your former self. If you can get back the precious item that was stolen from you, I will return you to normal. In exchange, all I ask is that you also get back my precious mask that the imp stole from me. What? Is it not a simple task? Why, to someone like you, it should be by no means a difficult task. Except, well, the one thing is, I'm a very busy fellow, and I must leave this place in 3 days. How grateful I would be if you could bring it back to me before my time here is up. But yes, you'll be fine. I see you are young and have tremendous courage. I'm sure you'll find it right away.
And now he gives me a little bit of tutorializing. He tells me about the Sheikah Stone over there, which is a thing that was added to the 3DS remake. Another little quality of life change, which is you can crawl into that stone, and it will give you hints about various quests that you're on.
Well, then, I am counting on you.
What I like about him is that he is a good guy. Like, he's not an antagonist in any way, shape, or form. But the moment you meet him, you're also profoundly uncomfortable with him. Like, it's like, ooh, like, oh, I just instantly do not trust you, my man. And you're instantly kind of suspicious of him. Even though he's an ally, he's not someone who you immediately connect with. And then we have those title cards. They arrive like gravestones, don't they? Like slabs of stone. Dawn of the first day. And all of it is contributing to, like, again, I'm talking so much about the feeling that this game is trying to engender. And that's really the thing, like, that sets it apart for me, is the feeling that I have when playing it, which is completely different from pretty much any other Zelda game, and indeed most other games. Because I don't feel triumphant and heroic playing this game almost ever. I feel uneasy, melancholy, sad, and, you know, just a little bit stressed, which is why I don't replay it much.
He gives me the creeps. That mask salesman was the... Oh, sorry, just thinking aloud. But 3 days? Even if we never sleep, this still leaves us with a measly 72 hours. Talk about demanding. Well, don't just stand there. We're going to see the Great Fairy. Look, you want to find the Skull Kid, don't you? The Great Fairy will know what he's up to. She watches over everything. And just between you and me, the Skull Kid is no match for the Great Fairy. I'm pretty sure the Great Fairy lives in a shrine somewhere here in town. Where? What? Somewhere? Don't press me for details. I don't come to this town very often. You could try talking to one of those kids who hang out around town. One of them might know where the shrine is.
No need. I am well familiar myself. Ah, yes. Hello, mean dog that chases me around for no reason. That dog is very angry with Deku Scrubs for some reason, so. Hello.
Oh, hear my pro. The masked skull kid has broken me apart and scattered my pieces. Please find a way to return me to the fairy fountain in North Clocktown.
No problem, little buddy. 10-4, Daddy-O. Oh, hello, Keaton Mask. By the way, because I'm playing this on an emulator, my character's name is Citra, which is the name of the emulator. I haven't found a way to change it. So, occasionally, my character will introduce themselves as Citra. Anyway, let's go save.
Ba-ba.
Okay, let me think. Let's start by just doing some story stuff. Let's go meet the Great Fairy. Yeah, I think we'll start by just playing through the story the way that you're kind of supposed to do it. And then later we'll explore the town a bit. So this first episode of the series is probably going to be long. An hour and a half, maybe. And then from there on, I'll take it back down to an hour. But it's because when we start this out, I want to go through all first 3 of the days and get into the proper game.
Oh no, the Great Fairy.
I'm not even going to try to do a Great Fairy impression, by the way. I don't have the range.
Paddle, and you, young one of the altered shape, thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. I am the Great Fairy of Magic. I thought that masked child was helping me, and I grew careless. All I can offer you now is this. I shall grant you magic power as a sign of my gratitude. Please accept it.
Why are the Great Fairies in these games always so incredibly horny? They are so horny. Like, even more so in Breath of the Wild. Holy crap. Like, have you seen the animations? Good lord.
Hooray! Magic power!
The man who lives in the observatory outside of town may know of the Skull Kid's whereabouts. But be careful. You must not underestimate that child's power, kind young one. If ever you return to your former shape, come see me. I shall give you more help.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and keep the subsequent episodes to about an hour. But for this one, it's gonna take as long as it needs to take in order for us to get through the first 3 days of the game. Anyway, now that we have the power to blow bubbles... There. I've ruined his fun. But before I capitalize on that, more money. Alright, kiddo.
You just pop that up there? Not bad for a Decker scrub. We bombers have a hideout that leads to the observatory outside of town. You need a code to get in. Maybe I'll tell you what it is. But don't think you're getting it that easily. I can just tell you what the code is. You have to pass my test first.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Line up, guys! The 5 of us will run and hide in different places all over town. If you can catch us all before sunrise, we'll teach you the secret code. Oh, and Dicker Nuts aren't fair game. They're bright and hurt our eyes, so you can't use them, okay? Got that? Alright, are you ready?
And I love that little detail right there, that one of the kids is like late and can't quite keep up with the others. Anyway, Deku Nuts are not fair, you say? That sure is a shame, because I happen to have a whole bunch of them. So, we need to go and find these 4 kids. And from a game design perspective, what this quest is meant to do is force you to go to every area in Clocktown and start to familiarize yourself with the layout of this place, because it is an incredibly important hub in the game. And so it's a good thing to know how it's laid out and how it all works, and to sort of start becoming introduced to some of the characters, like Ingo there. Wait, he's not called Ingo, is he? No, not anymore. He's called Ingo in Ocarina of Time. And we'll be back to explore this place more, like I said, a little bit later. But for the moment, let's just focus on catching these pesky little brats. So Clocktown is broken up into 4 quadrants, north, south, east, and west, which makes sense. And then it also has like a few sub-areas besides that. And there's, like, the general conceit of the game is that there's just, like, as you can see, tons of NPCs living here. And pretty much every single one of these NPCs has some kind of a quest associated with them. A quest, a side quest, some kind of story, some problem that they have that they're trying to solve. And some of those intersect naturally with your main quest, like the stuff that you'll naturally just want to do over the course of your playthrough anyway. And most of it doesn't. Most of it is just completely, well, optional content, as it were. Stories that you can go through, and there's rewards, but you don't have to do them to complete the game. They're just helpful.
Yeah, you're pretty good for a Decker scrub. If only you were human, then I could give you an original bomber's notebook and make you a member. What do you guys think? No way! No scrubs!
I don't want no scrubs. A scrub is a guy that can get no love from me.
Nah, I guess not. Once we had some kid who wasn't human join our gang, and boy, did we ever regret it. Sorry.
Gee, I wonder who that kid who wasn't human was.
I'll teach you the code just like I promised. I can only tell you once, though, to play close attention. You ready?
Right, so it's 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. 35142. 35142. 35142. 35142. 35142. 35142. 35142. 35142. Thank you. The reason I repeated it to myself over and over and over again is because if I didn't, then I would have forgotten it instantly. So now we have access to the observatory outside of town. Uh-oh. Deku Scrubs can't swim, so they jump on the water instead. But if you fall in, you can only jump so many times, and if you fall in, well, it's bad for you. Ah, it's not really. It's just annoying, usually. Here comes a great piece of music. Listen to that. La 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 la.
Well, a strange-looking child has joined me today. Are you a new friend of the Bombers gang? Your manners seem much better than those of your mischievous friend from the other day. That ill-mannered troublemaker from the other day says he'd break my instruments. He said he'd steal my moon's tear. There was no stopping him. Even now, just watch him. He's probably causing trouble around the old clock tower.
I don't know what that accent is. Thank God there's natural subtitles built in. Hello, Skull Kid. How you doing? What are you looking at? Oh, God! I don't understand how anyone in this world sleeps, ever. Like, when the moon looks like that, how does anyone ever sleep? I mean... Anyway.
Well, did you find that troublemaker? And that loud noise, what was that? Perhaps another moon's tear has fallen nearby. Go through that door and take a look outside. But I wonder how that troublemaker got on top of the clock tower. The only way up there is through the clock door, and that opens only on the eve of the carnival.
Thank you for that information, old man. And thank you for that tear, Mr. Terrifying Moon, who I don't like.
Hey, just so you know,
Okay, it's tutorials.
The moon sure is huge right now. It looks like it's going to come crashing down on us. But don't worry about that silly moon. Just focus on Skull Kid. We know where he is now, and there's nothing left to do here. Let's go to the clock tower.
Well, the clock tower, my friend, is not open. By the way, welcome to Termina Field. We can't do anything here yet, but soon we will. Well, soon-ish. Such a lovely piece of music. Okay, moving on. We're getting towards the evening. Soon it will be night. Let me see if I can make it over here just in time. Yes, good.
Wait, but hang on. It's my private property. Don't try using it when I'm not around. I've already sold out of my wares and the carnival hasn't even begun. I'm thinking of closing up shop so I can buy a gift for my wife and return to her in my village. I've heard that a stone called the Moon's Tear shines brighter than any other in the land. If you've got one, I'd really like to get it from you. My wife would love it. If you give it to me, I'll give you my spot here, Deku flower included.
Well, wouldn't that be a nice thing to have? And fortunately, we just randomly happens to have found a Moon's Tear.
Ah, that stone! You must hand it over to me. You really helped me out. Now I have the perfect souvenir for my wife. She hasn't set eyes on a jewel or strange sparkling stone like this in a very long time. The title deed for this spot should be in high demand among Deku scrubs, but you already know that. If you don't need it anymore, you can always sell it.
Ow. It doesn't do damage, it's just annoying. This is where we're supposed to go, but we can't get in there yet. Fortunately, we can wait for an audio glitch, and there we go. Get a piece of heart, at least.
Looks like we still can't use the stairs to lead up to the roof. Oh well, it can't be helped. For now, just do something to pass the time. Chat with people, do a little dance, whatever. It's not really my business.
Very helpful. So, the door up there will not open until the eve of the carnival, which is the night of the final day. So in the meantime, well, we'll have to find something else to do to entertain ourselves. Let's open a bank account.
Hey, little guy, won't you deposit some rupees? Nowadays, even if people have money, they don't deposit any. Nothing. So, for a limited time, I'll give you a special gift based on how much you deposit. For example, if you deposit 200 rupees, you'll get a primo wallet that holds a lot of rupees.
We'll just give him everything for now. And he puts a stamp on us. So, this game has a reset mechanic. As you can see down in the bottom, we only have 3 days, and that's kind of not enough to complete the whole game, given how fast time passes in this world. So, we're gonna have to go back in time at some point. Spoiler alert. Thank you. Hello. I'm not doing anything suspicious. Really? I mean, I wasn't gonna say that you were, but now that you've, like, insisted that you're not doing anything suspicious, well, that seems worse. Anyway. What's this? Green clothes? White fairy? Sir, could you by chance be a forest fairy? Oh my! My name is Tingle, and I think I am the same as you, sir. A forest fairy! Alas, though I am already age 35, no fairy has come to me yet. By the way, notice that Tingle isn't looking at me at all. He's only looking at Tattle. My father tells me to grow up and act my age. But why? I tell you, Tingle is the very reincarnation of a fairy. Now, while I stand here waiting for a fairy of my own, I sell maps to help out my father. Lucky, you're so lucky to have a fairy. I know. We should be friends. Yes. In exchange, I will sell you a map for cheap as a sign of my friendship. Will you buy one of Tinkle's maps? I'll take the Clocktown map, please. Lovely. And the map is there. Oh, Tinkle nearly forgot, good sir. Do you know how to use my maps? I do, yes. Well, call again. Tingle, tingle, call Olimpa! These are the magic words that Tingle created himself. Don't steal them. So, we have a couple of options for what we want to do. We need the time to advance to the night of the final day so that we can get into the clock tower and fight the Skull Kid. Unfortunately, That's a long way away, because I happen to know exactly what to do to get to the point where we have to wait for it to be the dawn of the night of the final day, so what to do in the meantime? Well, let's go exploring a little bit. Oh no, can't go into the mayor's office because it's nighttime. Meh. What's open at night? We'll go exploring around Clocktown just to see what's here. So most of these shops right here are minigames of various kinds, which eventually we might need to play in order to get the pieces of heart that you can win from each of them. But for the moment, no need to worry about it. Let's go to the inn. No, that's also closed. God damn it, I forgot. Milk bar, is that open? No, not without membership, right. So because this isn't a game, like, unlike Ocarina of Time, which I have played through at least, like, 3 dozen times, God knows how many, I've only played through this one a few times, so I'm probably not going to be as knowledgeable as I am about other games.
This poster's an eyesore. What a sorry collection of cowards.
Recruiting soldiers, protect peace and uphold justice with us.
Vice and corpse recruiter. These carpenter dudes seem to have it in for the city guard for some reason. I wonder why. They're working hard, though.
Hey, apprentice, don't just stand around looking at the sky all day.
Can I talk to the apprentice? Yeah.
It's gotten bigger again. This is bad. Hey ho, looks like another all-nighter. I wonder if that'll get finished.
They're building something here. Interesting. Now there's a familiar melody.
La 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 la. They said I was too loud when I practiced in my room. They got mad. Now I'm sad.
I'll just stay here all night away from their pad. And you were a child, so you must go to bed. We'll talk more to him later, by the way. So, if you ring this bell, who should appear? Those with business, ring the bell. Please ring the bell. No solicitors! And they run back inside. So, the little person in the Keaton mask works at the curiosity shop. Wonder what the curiosity shop is. Actually, that's a good place to go now that it's nighttime. We should have just enough time to get there. So yeah, like I said, the Majora's Mask itself, like the main story, the dungeons and stuff like that, if you can beat the bosses without needing a lot of extra heart containers and stuff, you can pretty much complete this game in like a few hours. It really genuinely doesn't take very long.
Hey, boy, should you be with your parents? Go on.
Yep. But if you try to go around and, you know, actually do things, let me just pause the game for a second, then this can be like a 60-hour game. So we're not going to complete every side quest in the game. We're not going to be doing that because, frankly, oh boy. At least we're not going to be doing that in these recordings because that would be way too many episodes. But we'll do a reasonable amount to help you all get a feeling for what this game is like and what's going on in it. So take a look at the curiosity shop here. This is an example of something I love about this game, which is its sense of environment design, because, like, what kind of shop does this look like when you look at it? Curiosity shop, yeah, but all these crates, all this random stuff, it's weird, isn't it? It has this unsettling feeling. This is something that this game does different from Ocarina of Time as well. There's no such thing as a generic shopkeeper in this game. Absolutely no such thing. Every single one of them. Welcome. Hey, you're just a Degrascript kid. Every single one of them have distinct character designs and personalities, and their shops have completely distinct personalities as well. As you can see, like, this place looks nothing like the Curiosity Shop. It looks like it's built on a swamp somehow. And there's, like, this water trough running clearly into the Curiosity Shop, but where was that even in that place? And that's just something I quite enjoy about this game. And then here we have the bomb shop. And take a look at this guy.
No, you can't use any of them, but feel free to look around. Actually, we should have the larger bomb bag in stock, but it seems there was an accident getting here to the store. I don't know when we'll be getting it now.
An accident, you say? Almost as though something suspicious happened.
Come again.
Also, hello.
Hello. Did you come to buy a bomb?
Oh, this is just between us, but I have a huge bomb that this shop doesn't even carry. Oh, but my product is so heavy, I don't think you can carry it. I'm sorry I even brought it up. And again, completely different interior design. And I love it. Like, I love the amount of detail and attention that's put into the design of these. Like, the stock that he's got hanging up under the roof. This rocket that seems to be just sitting there as though he's planning to go to space. And speaking of his rocket... Oh, I can read that. Planned moon trip experiment memo. Try using bomb-powered flight. Yeah, that seems like a great idea. And here we have like a full set of diagrams. And I don't think you could really read that on the N64 very well. But here, you can see the complete plan that he has for his moon trip. Where he wants to open... he wants to plant a flag on the moon, which I just think is adorable. It's one of those little details. These two dancers seem confused, almost as though they don't quite know what to do with themselves with their dance. This is the sword school. You can do sword stuff here. No, he's out. Okay. That's the post office. There's a little mini game in there you can do. But we'll deal with that later, I guess. Morning comes. By the way, look at that. The walls are closing in as time runs out. It's one of the most effective things that this game does, is that thing. Because, like, every time it happens and you see the dawn of the second day, oh god, 48 hours remain. It's so stressful, it's like you're having tunnel vision almost. Okay, now that it's daytime, we can go to some other places and meet some more characters around Clock Town. And that's really the thing I want to show off here, is just the breadth and width of character design and just character writing and character concept that exists in this game, because it is crazy. Like, it's extremely well put together. And a lot of the characters are borrowed from Ocarina of Time, obviously, like I pointed out. But, like, for instance, these two guys.
We're the twin jugglers from the Gorman troupe. We're practicing for the big carnival. It happens once in a blue moon. Or in this year's case, once in a really, really scary red-eyed moon. I hear it's gonna fall harder than the way my clumsy brother's always dropping our juggling balls. You see, we're entertainers. We must keep people smiling no matter how grim things get. We must always be optimistic.
I love their little mustaches. I think we can go to the inn in a second. Yeah. Might as well hit into one of the shops if it's open. Honey and Darling's shop. These are very, very annoying to deal with, and I don't want to play this game ever. But they're there. They're a loving, like, just like disgustingly in love young couple. Then we have the treasure chest shop owner, who's a cute purple hair girl.
Oh, what a cute little customer.
No, thank you. And again, the interior design of this place. The whole place looks like a treasure chest. Very clever. And the thing is, as far as I know, Majora's Mask was put together in a much, much, much shorter time than Ocarina of Time was, which partly because it could borrow a lot of assets and programming, but...
Sorry, our rooms are filled.
No, that won't work. No, that's too basic.
That's one of the dancers, isn't it? Still unsure about how to dance, I suppose. How she wants to dance. Ooh, I think we can do... If I remember correctly, it's this door? Nope. Oh well.
La 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 la, don't speak to her right now. She hasn't finished a new dance for the song's carnival. Even though the song is finished.
Let me see if I can remember where it is. Oh, do I need a bomb to get in there? That would be annoying. Oh well. Or is it back here? Ah, there it is. No, not right now? Oh, well. Is that only at night then? Okay, well, I guess we'll come back later. So, here's Grandma, who thinks that we're her grandson. She can't really tell the difference anymore. By the way, what a face on this lady, huh? Scary as hell. She'll tell us stories, which we can use to warp time forwards, instead of, you know, running around and waiting. Which is a lovely little thing. So, really? He's not there? Only at night, I guess? Alright, we'll come back at night. And there's also another way to warp time forwards, which I'll show you a little bit later. Once I feel like I've shown off enough of the town, I promise we'll move on.
La, la, la. Welcome. Do you have some business?
The room on the left is the mayor's room. It sounds like they're having some kind of meeting, I think. The room on your right is the drawing room, and it's also Madame Aroma's office. Don't go in there without an appointment. The lady will get mad at you.
She will indeed. Ah, the official portrait of the mayor and his wife. Dashing couple, don't you think?
Most of the townsfolk have already taken shelter without waiting for the mayor's orders. The only ones left are public servants and committee members. Mr. Mayor and Carnival Committee member, please order those who remain to evacuate.
Well...
You cowards, do you actually believe the moon will fall? Those confused townsfolk simply caused a panic by believing this ridiculous, groundless theory. The soldiers couldn't prevent the panic, but outside the town walls is where the danger is. You want answers? The answer is that the carnival should not be cancelled. Isn't that right, Mr. Mayor?
Are you serious, Muto? It seems that giant hunk of rock above hasn't caught your eye. At this time every year, we're overrun by tourists, so why is the town empty? Clearly, it's your job to ensure the carnival's operation, but that's only if people are here for it. Don't drag the merchants and soldiers into this.
If the soldiers wish to run, then run, Vyson. We councilmen will stick to tradition. This carnival will be a success. I've never heard of a defense unit abandoning its town. Madame Aroma would surely say the same thing, wouldn't she, Mayor Dutour?
Let's not bring my wife into this.
Well, they seem to be having a little bit of an argument, because people have apparently noticed that the moon is like 12 feet above the ground, and are inclined to get the hell away from it, which makes sense to me, but I guess some people are just so obsessed with their traditions that they don't want to deal with looming, impending environmental disasters and would prefer to pretend that everything is just fine and nothing could possibly go wrong. I'm glad the real world isn't like that.
Yeah, the thin stamp lately. Oh, that's the greeting used amongst us Sora. Where's your mama, sonny? You came here by yourself? Well, aren't you a big boy?
And here's the mayor's wife.
Oh dear, you're a student of Deku Elementary. Where's your teacher? You shouldn't be here. Field trips go next door. Tell your teacher that.
La 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 la. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba. Let's see, what do we do next? Oh yes, let's go to South Clocktown. And grab some money. Boing.
Hooray! 20 rupees.
And let's deposit that money with the eager little banker. I'm hoping to get to the big wallet as soon as possible. And we're making a good start on that. Let's head to West Clocktown now and see if we can get into some of the building. I think the mailman is going to be out. Yeah, he's out for a little while longer, but he'll be back soon. Welcome to the lottery shop. It's, I think it's closed during the daytime. Or no. Anyway, Mr. Mailman. Come back. No? Not yet. Well, that's annoying. He has a little mini-game that you can play, which is an easy way to get a heart piece. Well, I say easy. It's actually not very easy at all, but it's a way to get a heart piece. Okay. So there's all kinds of mini-games and other NPCs around town, but I think at this point you probably get the gist of what I'm trying to show you here, is that there's a huge variety of characters and a variety of character designs. And we haven't even seen, like, close to all of them yet, believe me. So at this point, well, I've saved the game, so I guess we should just go advance the time. And there is a fun way to do that. So one thing I'll point out is that, in the game like, when I played this game for the first time, I had no bloody idea. Like, by the time I figured out how to get to the point where, like, you're opening up and you need to open up you need to wait for the festival so you can open up the door to the clock tower and go fight Skull Kid. It was like the end of the second night, before I figured that out. So I was like really under time pressure, and I was running around trying to figure, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. All over the place. And that's kind of how you're supposed to play the game. Knowing exactly what to do and where to go gives you a lot more time to run around and just explore the town. But the thing I want to get at here, well, actually, let's talk about that later. Hey, baby, I'm a startled scarecrow, wandering in search of pleasant music. Time will pass in the blink of an eye if you dance with me. If you like, baby, we can forget the time and dance until night. Shall we dance? In that case, oh yeah, in that case, forget the time. Let's dance. La 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 na 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 na. There we go, that's the night of the second day. And let's just advance it to dawn. The dawn of the final day. "24 hours remain." No, we shall not dance right now. Because I want to show you the mood. And I talk about mood a lot. But say hello to the mood of South Clocktown on the final day. Well, they've almost finished up the festival tower up there. That's nice. Look at the guard. Like, when I'm not there for him to react against, look how he's just staring up at the sky, terrified.
I'm sorry, Braymore, but I'm going too.
Can I talk to him? No, he's too far up. Okay, fine. That's the moon rumbling, by the way.
Bleh, I'm not gonna run. Not me. You got that? I'm Master Muto's apprentice.
Refusing to run, are we?
Hey, you still hanging around?
The kids are unconcerned. They don't even really seem to realize what's happening. But you can see the carnival performers are gone. The guards are all staring up at the sky in, well, abject horror, really. Can't get in there yet, I don't think. Tinkle is also hanging around, because I guess he's just that kind of guy. But the music especially. The music in Clocktown gets faster and faster with every day that passes. So on day 1, it's relatively slow and laid back, but here on day 3, it's like, oh boy. It's passing quickly, and you've got this minor key, like, string riff underneath it just going wom, wom. And, like, the whole mood of the town is just, like, absolutely awful, isn't it? It's like, oh boy, this is a nightmare place I hate being in. And people are starting to evacuate and run away. Okay, that's 10 a.m. We can go to the mayor's office now and see how the argument has progressed in there. Hello, Mr. Postman. The receptionist is gone. The mayor's wife seems to have left. But the argument! Oh, the argument is still going.
Almost take refuge.
Wander the carnival.
If you come back at night, the argument will finally be over. And the guards, the leader of the guards will be out here just basically crying. Or at least looking just absolutely horrified and downhearted. And the mayor will still be in his seat, unsure of what to do with himself at all. But also unwilling to abandon his post, which is interesting. So, what's the smart play right now? Let's just go advance time to the night of the final day. Because I don't think there's much more here to see. Like, most NPCs will at this point have either fled or they'll be cowering in their rooms. Scared out of their minds. And some of them will be completely casual, like this shopkeeper. La la la. La la la. Na 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 na. Oh yeah, how was it? It went by in an instant, right? I'm still full of energy. But outside, it seems it's kind of dangerous. Yikes, I'm getting out of town. See you later, baby. Even the scarecrow leaves, runs away. And I remember as a kid, like, the music in Clocktown on the final day, just hella anxiety, basically. And the mood of the game, awful. Like, it just doesn't feel... And this is why I don't return to it very often, because it's not a nice game to play, really.
Hey, Decker Kid, waiting for us to finish the bridge from the festival tower up to the clock tower entrance up there. Sorry, my apprentice has panicked and ran away. This is all we get for a festival tower. It's not quite tall enough, is it? Sheesh. Even if he went to the top of the festival tower, we wouldn't be able to get up to the clock tower entrance. I apologize for all this. I wish I could scare that moon away. It's the eve of the carnival, and I can't even get to the clock tower stairway entrance. This stinks worse than Gadongo breath. This had better be the last thing to go wrong.
I'm sure it will be, old man. I'm sure everything else will be fine. Don't you worry about a thing. So, in the remake here, there's a lot of quality of life changes, including ways to advance the time, like in small increments, so that you can get to exactly the time of day that you need in order to do various events, which helps tremendously in completing the game in like a convenient manner. But there's also something lost in that. Something that I'm okay giving up, but there is something in the original where quite a lot of the game is spent pretty much just doing this. Standing around and waiting for the right moment for something to happen. Whether it's part of a side quest or like a thing that needs to happen to a character, or you just like you can't advance to the next segment of the day, you need a specific part of one day. So much of the game is this. Standing around waiting for the inevitable to happen. And you have a lot of time to think during that time. A lot of time to just kind of be immersed in the feeling of the game. Or be bored, like, also that. And again, that's something that's so unusual, because in Ocarina of Time, like, you can stand around and wait if you want to, but, like, why would you? Nothing happens in that game at all unless you are there to advance the plot of the story, like, unless you are there to make things happen. But in this game, things happen all on their own. Like, characters go about their lives, things happen that you have no control over or influence over, things which you will miss unless you are there on the dot. Like, you have your schedule already, you know where to be, when to be there, and how to get there at the right time in order to affect the outcome of things that happen. Otherwise, things just happen without you. Things just go on happening, and you don't really matter that much to whether or not things are going to happen in this game. And again, as a kid, I did not want that feeling from a video game. That's not what I was here for. I wasn't here to feel melancholy and sad and powerless and weak and small. But nowadays, sometimes there is something to that feeling. Just watching the hands of a clock go by. Sometimes there's something to that. Anyway. Welcome to the night of the festival.
Don't stop now. Look, you can get up there now.
What a carnival, huh?
Yes! Ah, Tail, we've been looking for you two. Hey, Skullkid? What if you gave back that mask you're wearing now? Hey, come on, are you listening?
Swamp, mountain, ocean, canyon. Hurry! The four who are there, bring them here!
Don't speak out of line, stupid fairy.
No! What are you doing to my brother? Skullkid, do you think you're still our friend after that? Well, whatever. Even if they were to come now, they wouldn't be able to handle me. Just look above you. If it's something that can be stopped, then just try to stop it.
Oh, that's probably fine. That's probably totally cool. No worries, guys. If you don't know what to do here, this is an intensely stressful moment in the game. Anyway, you got the Ocarina of Time back. Princess Zelda gave you this precious instrument. Suddenly, memories of Princess Zelda come rushing back to you. So again, notice the mood, the feeling that the game is working with here. We have reached the peak, the emotional peak of our playthrough so far. Like the absolute moment of maximum terrifying stress with the timers counting down and like barely any time left until the entire world ends. And now... relief. A moment of peace in memories of Princess Zelda. Like just this moment of, oh god, okay. There's no timer counting down anymore. And the music is calm. And we don't have to worry anymore. And again, as a kid, I didn't have the vocabulary to put words to that feeling, but I remember feeling such a sense of relief when I finally got the goddamn ocarina away from the Skull Kid. I picked it up, okay, I'm surely I'm supposed to do that. Something's about to happen, and then... Ocarina of Time. Like, because that's what the game is teasing you with. If you've played the original, this melody right here, that has an emotional association for you. That brings you back to a particular place and a particular state of mind. That heroic state of mind. That triumphant state of mind. Where you are empowered. Where you can do something. Where you aren't weak. Or completely out of options all the time. But where you are the hero of time. Time. Just what we need more of right now.
You're already leaving this land of Hyrule, aren't you? Even though it was only a short time, I feel like I've known you forever. I'll never forget the days we spent together in Hyrule. And I believe in my heart that a day will come when I shall meet you again.
By the way, when she talks about the days we spent together in Hyrule, again, she's directly referencing Ocarina of Time.
Until that day comes, please, take this. I'm praying that your journey will be a safe one. If something should happen to you, remember this song.
You remember the Song of Time. This melody, lingering on the edges of your mind, is a song of memories of Princess Zelda.
The goddess of time is protecting you. If you play the Song of Time, she will aid you. Snap out of it! What are you doing lost in memories? Get yourself together! Getting that old ocarina back isn't gonna help us. Somebody, anybody, goddess of time, help us, please! We need more time! That won't do you any good.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Huh? That instrument, when did you...
Trumpet time! And there go all my Deku nuts and money. Fortunately, I deposited most of it. And even the song that you play here, like the Song of Time, is like a talisman of Ocarina of Time. Like it's a remainder of that game, that your power as the hero of time. It's that previous life that you lived that comes back to help you and save you and make you strong enough to overcome the challenges that you're facing in this world. Which thematically is just brilliant, honestly.
What just happened? Everything is... Started over.
Notice how much slower the music is.
What are you anyway? That song you played, that instrument. That instrument! Wait, that's it, your instrument! The mask salesman said that if you got back the precious thing that was stolen from you, he could return you to normal. Did you completely forget or what?
Well, sounds like a useful thing. Let's go return to normal. Talk to him, thank you.
Oh, were you able to recover your precious item from that imp?
You got it, 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 you got it!
Then listen to me. Please play this song that I'm about to perform and remember it well. Follow along after me.
I love that he has this, like, 12-mile wide piano in 3 levels. And it's just, he sits there with, like, 2 little fingers, like, doo-doo-doo.
Na 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 na.
And he's waving goodbye to it, which is another clever little touch. Link is freed from the curse of the Deku Scrub because he comes to terms with it. Like, instead of it being... And that's, again, in terms of the storytelling, the first act of the game, like the first bit of the game here, those first 3 days, are essentially a kind of self-contained mini-adventure, where you go from being completely depowered, like completely disempowered from being turned into a Deku Scrub, not knowing what the hell to do, and having no path to returning to your former self. And slowly, as you play through those first 3 days, especially in the first playthrough, you become more and more familiar with what the Deku Scrub can do, what kinds of abilities it has, where you can go with it. And it's only because of the Deku Scrub's ability that you're able to get to the clock tower. You have to be able to jump into that flower in the middle of Clock Town and jump up and then fly over there. So by the end of this first 3-day period, you've come to terms with the Deku Scrub in terms of your gameplay mechanics. And similarly, Link is also, like, at the end of it, coming to terms with the Deku Scrub as a state of being. He's coming to terms with being transformed into something else. And rather than seeing it as like a curse, as an evil that was forced on him, it's a tool, it's a friend, almost, that's helpful to him, something that makes him stronger, more powerful, rather than, you know, a handicap, as it were.
This is a melody that heals evil magic and troubled spirits, turning them into masks. I'm sure it will be of assistance to you in the future. Ah, yes, I give you this mask in commemoration of this day. Fear not, for the magic has been sealed inside the mask. When you wear it, you will transform into the shape you just were. When you remove it, you will return to normal.
A little bit of an audio glitch.
Now, I have fulfilled my promise to you. So, please, give me that which you promised me. Don't tell me. My mask. You did get it back, didn't you?
What have you done to me? If you leave my mask out there, something terrible will happen!
That mask that was stolen from me, it is called Majora's Mask. It is an accursed item from legend that is said to have been used by an ancient tribe in its hexing rituals. It is said that an evil and wicked power is bestowed upon the one who wears that mask. According to legend, the troubles caused by Majora's Mask was so great the Ancient Ones, fearing such catastrophe, sealed the mask in shadow forever, preventing its misuse. But now that tribe from legend has vanished, so no one really knows the true nature of the mask. But I feel it. I went to great lengths to find that legendary mask when I finally had it. I could sense the doom of a dark omen brewing. It was that unwelcome feeling that makes your hair stand on end. And now that imp has it. I'm begging you, you must get that mask back quickly, or something horrible will happen. I'm begging you, you must do it. Well, really, you'll do it for me. I was certain you'd tell me that. Oh my, I nearly forgot. While you were gone, I found one of these. It appears to be one of those fancy notebooks the local brats carry around. Perhaps the imp dropped it? I've no use for things like this, so please consider it a gift. I insist. No, really, take it. Use it now. Only good things could come of it.
It is indeed a very useful little item. Basically, it's a schedule that allows you to keep track of events that happen in the world. In the vanilla game, in the original game, I believe, you had to go through the whole Bomber's quest all over again, like to go talk to the kid, break the balloon, find the kids, get inducted into the gang, and then they would give you the notebook. And that was like just a huge, like a repeat of that quest, which isn't really very interesting. So in this version, streamlining things a little bit. And it also records the code that you need to get into the observatory later on if you need to go there.
I'm confident you'll have no trouble handling the most urgent matter of this menacing mask. The fate of this land rests in your capable hands. You'll be fine. Surely, you can do it. Believe in your strengths. Believe.
Right, and I may as well show you also how the Sheikah Stone works. Hey there, I'm a Sheikah Stone. Say, you're not having trouble, are you? No need to answer, it's written all over your face. Would you like to use my powers? And basically, that's how the hint system works. It gives you these little videos, these little tips and tricks on how to find stuff like heart pieces. Collectibles, completing quests of various kinds. And that's all very useful because the game is... Originally, the game was very obtuse about that kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't super willing to show you how to do much of anything. So the Sheikah Stone being there is actually a very welcome addition, especially, again, when it was released for 3DS. Like, especially kids are gonna have a lot of use out of that, because this can be kind of a difficult game to complete otherwise.
That mask. The Skull Kid uses the power of that mask to do those terrible things. Well, whatever it takes, we've got to do something about it. The swamp, mountains, ocean, and canyon the tale was trying to tell us about. I bet it was referring to the 4 areas just outside of town.
Convenient.
There's one in each compass direction. But what do you suppose he meant by the 4 who were there? I have no idea. He always skips important stuff. I guess we should just go and find out. if we go through that gate straight ahead, we'll be heading in the direction of the swamp.
which conveniently is also the only dungeon we can complete right now. So I'll show you two things before we end this episode. This is the Song of Time played backwards, which you can use to slow down the flow of time, giving you way more time in a day to complete events as they're going on. I think it basically slows down time by half, more or less. Then there's the opposite of that, which is playing each note in the Song of Time twice, making the Song of Double Time, which you can then use to jump ahead to some other point in time up to, like, the dawn of the next day. And again, this is a quality of life change that was made in the remake, where you can pick specifically what hour you wish to jump ahead to. Whereas in the original, playing the skip ahead, it would take you from, like, the day to night to day to night. It would take you, like, forward in time to the next the next half day, basically, which was rather inconvenient. And so those two tools are going to come in handy a lot over the course of this playthrough. But with that, we have made it through the first 3 days and survived it. And I think, yeah, that is about all we need to do in this particular video. So let me just go and save the game, actually. Be sensible about it. Because this emulator does not have save state functionality, so I can't use that to cheese. There we go. If you've enjoyed hanging out in the world of Termina and Majora's Mask with me, then I highly encourage you to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons down below, or just one of them would be nice, because YouTube tracks how many people hit each of these buttons, and like if lots of people hit the buttons, then YouTube goes, ah, this video has engagement. I suppose we should show it to other people also, and that's helpful. So if you want to support YouTubers whose work you enjoy, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, if you are inclined to spend money directly, then I have a Patreon, I have a tip jar, and I have a merchandise store, all of that linked down in the description below. If you want to avail yourself of any of that, I'd be grateful, but please don't feel pressured to. The cheapest ways to support me directly is probably the memberships on this channel, because they're like $1 a month, and I believe they make sure that no ads appear on my videos ever, which is nice, because like that membership is like literally worth thousands of ad views already, so there's no point. I think so. Don't hold me up to that. But it also gets you a special icon next to your name in the comments, and it gives you special emoji in chat when I'm streaming on this channel sometimes. So if you want that, feel free to sign up for it, and if not, that's completely okay as well. I'm just happy that you watched this far. So thank you very much for watching, and come back next time.